Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile video, and today we're going to talk about how Spectres are back at the actual menu with 9, potentially 11 Spectres. It's insane! I know! Let's have a look at it, shall we? The Wraith Lord Bone Circlet is changed significantly. First off, I do want to point out that this will only drop from the new Tier 17 maps from the bosses and is removed from the core drop pools. So it's going to be a very rare helmet or hard to get, and it will only be achievable once the league's been on for a little bit when people start farming these higher endgame bosses. Because Tier 17 bosses are sort of like Uber bosses. That said, however, what the changes have done is making the Wraith Lord Bone Circlet have 4 Ghastly Eye Jewel sockets. Well, it's actually just Abyssal sockets, but you want to put Ghastly Eye Jewels because you're gonna get +1 to maximum number of Spectres per socketed Ghastly Eye Jewel. You heard me. That is 4 extra Spectres, and it gives you +2 level of all minion skill gems globally. This means that we are no longer forced to have Wraith Lord Spectres gems inside of the actual Wraith Lord helmet. And to get the plus level of minions, we are going to not be able to summon non-Spectre minions, which means no enemy guardian. We're not going to have zombies or meat shield or feeding frenzy sources from other places. However, we are instead able to get 4 Spectres on top of the high-end game gearing level 25 Spectre gem with a Delve chest piece +5, putting us at 9 freaking Spectres. Outside of that, you are able to run Midnight Bargain 1 or 2, which gives you 1 or 2 more Spectres, pushing it to 11. I do believe firmly that 9 will be the sweet spot. So the question then would remain, which Spectres would be used for this? Obviously, we've had some past leagues with crazy Spectres back in Affliction League that we just ended. And then further back, we've had access to Crucible Spectres, such as the Forge Frostbearers, all of which are freaking insane. During the Affliction League, we did have access to Spectres that came from bosses such as Hydra and whatnot. So what they talked about with Mark and Jonathan was talking about on the actual reveal stream is the Embers of the All-Flame. So these are finding special monster packs trapped within Embers of the All-Flame, a powerful relic of Rayclast. Place these in Lanches in the Armor to encounter abnormal monsters that yield special rewards. They have been confirmed to be spectrable. In here, you'll see how there's going to be a monster packs with harmless frogs. In here, we have some pack leader and Tawoan related monsters. In here, we have pack leader Ember of Tool. In here, we have all Legion and Untainted Beasts. Something that Mark mentioned on the actual live stream was the fact that we are going to be able to engage with something like Brutus, the actual boss Brutus from the prison. Lord Incarcerator. This is Brutus. They will be engageable monsters which you can Spectre. Yes, an actual boss that you can Spectre. And yes, you can have 9 of these guys. So until we see the actual PK file where we can data mine the information of which minions we're able to get from this, we will be able to then PUB an actual rough draft of a build we can make out of this. I'm extremely excited over this. Because the fact is, this is an uber endgame approach. There is no way this is not going to be something that's good. There are fantastic minds over at GGG. So having this helmet be made into an uber boss thing and having us being able to summon these guys makes me very confident in saying that we're definitely going to have at the very least a functional build, if not something that could potentially compete with the meta. And I'm extremely excited about this. In combination with the super overpowered buff of the actual leech then change from the necromancers, just making this absolutely crazy. I can't wait to run around with 9 freaking Spectres. And imagine just having 9 Brutuses just running around and just clapping cheeks left and right. Oh man, it's just gonna be absolutely nuts. The downside of the Wraith Lord helmet, however, is quite clear though. Since you are sacrificing sockets, which minion builds are, as we know, very socket starved as it is, you also have to keep in mind that we no longer have to use any utility minions. So there's no socket space taken for Feeding Frenzy, nothing for Animate Guardian, nothing for the Golems, nothing for potential meat shields or zombies taking damage in front of you. However, you instead will run with Abyssal sockets in your actual helmet. And this also means that things like a trigger crafted weapon would be preferable for automation, or you can run with self-casting it and run a Midnight Bargain or another unique item if you so choose to. And the other approaches that this offers is obviously abyssal sockets and other gear pieces, but you do want to run a delve-oriented chest piece for the extra Spectre. But when it comes to high-end gearing, this allows us to go to the route of an actual mirror kind of glove. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mirror glove, but gloves nonetheless offers a lot of cool options. So let's have a look at a pair of sorcerer gloves and what you can do with influence related stuff. We're going to zoom in a little bit and we're going to show you here what it looks like. And the approach of this is very simple. Shaper has the possibility of slower projectiles. So should we use a projectile-based kind of minion, then we can have that as one of the 6 modifiers on the glove. Suffixes from Shaper has the approach of trap stuffs, which we shouldn't worry too much about, but we have faster casting if it's a casting ability or casting minion. We also have critical strike multi. Suddenly we now have 3 different approaches of a projectile-based casting minion that benefits from Shaper. Out of 6 mods, that's 3 of them. Is absolutely nuts. There's also the possibility of essences when it comes to gloves, which obviously comes in different kind of versions, such as gems have plus critical strike chance. And then there's the gems have added flat fire. More attack and cast speed is a very big one. And then obviously we have delirium, which is damage over time, which I don't think is going to be the play. But the stock of the gems have flat crit, and the flat fire or the more attack cast speed are crazy good. And those, I believe, are suffixes, which means that if we were to go down that road, we have an SS mod, we have crit multi, cast speed, and then prefix, we have projectile speed, we can bench crap min damage, and other influence options obviously goes down to faster projectile from Elder, for example. Suffixes from the Elder is kind of limited, but instead of faster casting, we now have access to faster attacks, but again, having critical strike multi for socketed attacks. Do keep in mind that the Spectre gem is not an attack gem, so this will not work. On the other hand, we have a little bit of bleed or accuracy if that's needed. Don't think these are things that we're going to be looking at. I seriously doubt we're going to run an Elder piece myself. And then we have Crusader, and Crusader options is kind of limited in terms of things, but you have some extra defenses here. I don't think this is going to be used at all. Hunter is the same thing, nothing on the prefixes. The suffixes are irrelevant for us because they scale us, not our minions. Same thing for Warlord. And then we have, of course, Redeemer. Now, Redeemer suffixes are useless, but the prefixes gives us the minions deal extra damage, which goes all the way up to 30%. Now, the gloves here is kind of bad. Essences is actually stronger, but the horror essence is probably going to be the play here, so not this, or not the minion damage essence. But it gives us a couple of options to play around with, because that means that if we do Redeemer, then we can do this instead of Benchcraft. It is stronger than a Benchcraft, and then simply Benchcraft HP instead. So that is another way of going about it. And that's just the list of what you can achieve for high-end game versions of the Spectre build, utilizing gloves for your Spectres rather than the generic minion helmet that we normally have done for many, many years. If you're looking at a more low-budget approach, you would obviously skip the idea of crafting with the essence. And let's just say we put up a Shaper pair of gloves, and we would want slower approach. As an example, if this is the play with faster casting and the crit multi, and then we craft this with, say, fossils, you can very easily use Craft of Exile to determine which type of crafting method or which one of the fossils you want to use to craft this, and also see an average craft cost. Now, obviously, the craft cost is going to be a bit skewed due to this checking towards Affliction League, which is about to end. But as you can see here, if we were to do this, it would currently, the price for us to hit all 3 of these modifiers is a grand total of 3 current Divine Orbs in the current state of the league. Well, 393 Chaos, 19 tries. That is literally nothing to get 3 mods, which essentially would give you a 7-link pair of gloves. This also means you don't need any 6 links, making the build cheaper. But obviously, you'll need to buy a pretty expectedly high-cost helmet to making this work. Needless to say, I'm extremely excited for this, but it is going to be relying on the idea of which type of minions we are going to have access to based on the data mining file. Stay tuned for that information. I'll go through it on stream as soon as I have access to the preload, and we'll go and see which kind of Spectres we're going to play with, and or if it's going to be good. I'm excited nonetheless. Hope you guys are as well. And yeah, that's about it. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Do let me know in the comments down below what you guys feel about this and what you're excited for when it comes to Spectres. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So till then, as always, stay safe and keep rocking.